So today we are looking at sections formula. So in this formula, let's assume there is a line, okay? And this line right here has a some point which divides this line into two ratios or into two parts, m and n. Now m and n can be anything. This can be 3, this can be 2, this can be 1, this can be 2, okay, 3, 4, or even 1 itself, right? It can be in any ratio. So this point, so what it means is that this point divides the line in some ratio. And then you have a point here, x1 comma y1, and there is another point on the same line, x2 comma y2. So let us understand this entire story first. So there is this x1 y1 and there is this x2 and y2, okay, which is this, okay, it is this length right here, and there is a point on this length which divides m and n into two equal parts. So you have been asked that if you want to find this point, how should you approach, right? How should you find this point? And that's where this formula, sections formula, comes in. So this is a formula which is used to find the two coordinates, right? When I say the two coordinates, I mean that the coordinate which divides the line into the ratio m and n. So yeah, okay. So this point right here was our x1 comma y1, and this point right here was our x2 comma y2, and this point right here, let's call this x comma y. So if we wanted to find x comma y, we would just use this formula, the sections formula for the x value and the y value, right? So let us go over through this formula. This formula, what is this formula saying is, oh, not, this is m plus n, okay? So what this means is that when you have an m, so m is what? M and n means that if there is m upon n and this is equal to some ratio, let's say 3 is to 1, here m would be equal to the top value, which is 3, and n will be equal to the down value, okay? So you have to be extremely careful while seeing this. So the top value, which is this m, we take this m and we multiply this m by the with the x2 coordinate. Then we add n, which is the bottom value, okay, with x1. We multiply it with x1 and we add both of them and divide it by the m plus n, or the sum of the sum of this ratio. So in this case this would be 4, right? So here in this case this would be 4. All right, now we use this similar procedure and solve for y. So m by 2 is basically, we take the y2 value and we multiply it with the m, or the top value, which I had said earlier, and we do this the same for y1. We just replace x1 and x1 with y1, right? Even here you can see we have replaced y2 with x2 with y2, and we do m plus n, and that's how we will get the coordinates for this x comma y. So let's look at a sample problem. So what does this problem means is that there's this line segment, all right, and there is a point A. So this is the point A, this is minus 4 comma 6, and this is point B, 3 comma minus 1, okay? And now this is not for drawn to scale, okay, it's just for representation. And there's a point P here, right? P divides this line into 2 is to 5. And now we have been asked to find this value P. So what we will do, we will apply the section formula in this case to obtain P value. So here P's x value is equal to mx2 plus nx1 upon m plus n. Therefore, we can say that x is equal to 2 bracket 3 plus 5 bracket minus 4 upon 2 plus 5. So from here I can say that x is equal to 6 minus 20 by 7, okay, or this is just minus 14 by 2. From here x is equal to minus 2. So we have obtained our x coordinate. Now that we have obtained the x coordinate, let's solve for y. For y we apply a similar procedure. Okay, we will say that my2 plus ny1 over m plus n is equal to the y value. Now we know that m plus n is just 7 because we had just calculated earlier, and I will just quickly substitute in the value. M value is 2. Okay, m value is 2 here. Let me just add here, m value is 2, n value is 5. Okay, y2 is this minus 1, right, plus, now this will be 5 and 6. So upon simplification we will get that this is minus 2 plus 30 by 7, right. Now isn't this is just minus 4. So from here we can say that p's coordinates is equal to minus 2 comma minus 4, and that's our answer. This is the symbol. This symbol is for when you are writing coordinates. Okay, so this symbol just shows that. So this is our final answer. Now we will be discussing about midpoint of a line. So midpoint of a line basically means that if you have the same thing and there is this peak, what the midpoint of a line means is that this divides the line, this line segment, into two equal parts, which will be 1 and 1. This is our x1 comma y1. This is our x2 comma y2. All right, and let's look at what happens when we apply the section formula here to obtain the midpoints value. So this points value, if we do that, we can say that p is equal to 1 comma 1 bracket x2 plus 1 bracket, let's 1 let's just say like this, x is equal to 1 times x2 plus 1 times x1 over 1 plus 1, right. And we can say that y is equal to 1 times y2 plus 1 times y1 over 2. So as you can look here, we can say that p's value is nothing but x1 plus x2 upon 2 comma y1 plus y2 upon 2. So this is a very useful formula. We can just quickly calculate the midpoint of any line if we were given the two coordinates. So now look at this question. Now you have been given a line segment. It has a point 1 minus 1 comma 1 and b 5 comma 7. So we can just apply the formula p is equal to x1 plus x2 over 2 comma y1 plus y2 over 2. If we substitute our values, we will get that this is equal to minus 1 plus 5 upon 2 comma 1 plus 7 upon 2. So from here we can say that p's coordinates are minus 6, 4 by 2 comma 8 by 2. So isn't this just 2 and isn't this just 4? So we have finally obtained our solution. 2 comma 4 is the midpoint of this line segment. So what does the term centroid of a triangle means? Let's say you have this, all right, and I ask you, what is a center? The center of a triangle is known as the centroid. Okay, that's the simple definition for centroid of a triangle. Now, if we want to say find out what are the coordinates of this centroid, we can do that extremely easily. So this is the formula to find the centroid of any triangle. Now, x1, x2, x3 are the vertices of the triangle. So if this was a triangle and this has some point x1 comma y1, this has some point x2 comma y2, this has some point x3 comma y3, all right. So these are known as the vertices. Okay, these pointy little things are known as vertices of a triangle. Now, to find the coordinates for the centroid, this is the formula what we will apply and find out the centroid of a triangle. So let us look at some questions to solve and further deepen our understanding and practice this formula. So now this is a graphical question. Now let's say you have been asked to find centroid and you have been given the 3 points. So we can easily just apply the formula for the centroid, which we say is x1 plus x2 plus x3 upon 3 comma y1 plus y2 plus y3 upon 3. Okay, so now we will just simply substitute in the values. So x1 is this, which is 1, plus this is x2, so 4. This is x3, which is 7. All right. So if you add all of them up and you divide this by 3, you will get that this is just 12 upon 3, comma. Let's solve for y1. This we know that this is just 4, so I will just write it here. And y1 is what? Y1 is 3. Plus y2 is 9. Y3 is 2. And we divide all of them by 3. So this is 3 plus 9 or 12. 12 plus 2, or this is just 14 by 3. Okay. And hence the coordinate for the centroid of this triangle is 4 comma 14 by 3, which is our answer. So I hope you like this video. Please like, share and subscribe to my channel. Till then, bye bye.